Doris was shattered due to everything that had happened between her husband Ade and her housemaid Agnes. Sometimes it's as if she's dreaming. She could not believe that the man she had loved with all her life could betray her and cheat on her with the same maid she hired with her own hard-earned money. Sometimes she wishes the earth could open and swallow her. She had many sleepless nights, many restless moments. Her heartbreak was too obvious that everyone at her office noticed the pain she passed through daily. She worked morning and night just to make life easier and better for her lovely husband, but the same husband had decided to pay her back by sleeping with their maid, and to make the matters worse, impregnated their maid. It took so many months of endless tears before Doris recovered from the heartbreak, though she will never forget what Ade had done. It was even more painful to her that Ade has no single remorse. He even chose the maid over her, his own legitimate wedded wife. But moreover, she decided to move on with her life, hoping that one day her own man will come. A man who will love and respect her, value her. Ade does not deserve her. Meanwhile, Ade and Agnes continued their love affair, but this time, they no longer have to do it in secret. There is nothing to hide anymore. It's obvious now. Ade was happy he is going to have a child. Finally, at least after so many years with Doris, who refused to have a child the first few years of their marriage due to her commitment to her job. On the other hand, Agnes was very happy. She's no longer just a mere house help, but now she's a big madam of her own. The same house where she used to live as a house help is now all hers. She was proud of herself. She was so happy that she now has Ade all to herself. She no longer has to dress like a maid anymore. She now dresses like a big madam. From a village girl to a city housewife. Even her mother in the village was so proud of her achievements, but her poor father was against it. He often complained, "How do you both derive joy in chasing another woman out of her own home just because of greed?" Agnes and her mother does not care about what her father has to say. They often mocks him and reminds him that it was due to his poor mentality and his soft mindset. That's why he ended up just to be a village farmer, a local champion. When Mr. Ade came to Agnes's village to seek for her hand in marriage, he came with lots of gifts and food items. Agnes's mother was so happy to have her new in-law bring such expensive gifts. But in the other hand, Agnes's father rejected everything. He was a noble man, a man of honor. "Mr. Ade, I am an elder. Our people said an elder does not sit at home and watch the tattered she-goats deliver. Ndị be anyị si na okenye ada nọ n'ụlọ ewu amụọ n'ogbere. You had a wife, according to what I heard. She was the one that hired my daughter to be your house help. How can you drive away your wife who did nothing bad to you? Then you came here asking for my own daughter's hand in marriage. I cannot support such evil. The child that my daughter is carrying for you is an abomination in my tradition. So therefore, you cannot marry my daughter. I can't give my blessing." Ade tried to persuade Agnes's father, "But sir, I love your daughter. Doris, my ex-wife, was a banker. She loves her job more than me. She never have time for me. She's always busy at work. It's your daughter Agnes who took care of me, cook for me, wash my clothes, cleaned my home and now has my baby that Doris could not give me for the past 5 years. So, she does more of a wife duty for me more than Doris, Ade said. My daughter did not take care of you. She was only doing her job. She was paid to cook, to clean, and to wash. And she was paid by the same woman, the same wife of yours that you drove away. Where is your conscience to betray such a wonderful woman? I will never support such a marriage. Whatever you and Agnes are doing, my hands are clean. My hands are not there. May the God Almighty and the gods of our land hear my voice. I wash my hands and that's final. Agnes's father refused to support Ade and Agnes's union. Therefore, their marriage was not blessed. But Agnes's mother told Ade not to mind her husband. She instructed her to go on with the marriage. She told Agnes never to leave Ade except if she likes poverty. This is how Ade married Agnes for free. It was never legal, but they lived as husband and wife. Ade and Agnes had been living together for over a year now. Though they were never legally married, they acted like husband and wife. Agnes had given birth to a baby boy, whom Ade had accepted as his own. At first, everything seemed perfect. Ade was proud to be a father, and despite how things had ended with Doris, he tried to convince himself that he had made the right choice. But as time went on, the illusion of happiness began to crumble. Agnes had changed. She was no longer the sweet, obedient maid who once catered to Ade's every need. She no longer cooked for him, no longer made the house look tidy, and certainly no longer respects him. Agnes, can you at least prepare something for dinner? Ade asked one evening as he returned home from work, exhausted. Agnes, lounging on the couch in a silk robe, barely glanced at him. I'm not your maid, Ade. If you're hungry, cook something yourself. Ade clenched his jaw. I worked all day to provide for this family, and you can't even make a simple meal? She rolled her eyes. You knew I wasn't a chef when you made me your woman. If you don't like it, hire another maid. But I can assure you that I will not allow you to cheat on me with any silly maid from anywhere. If you mess with me, I will mess you up. Ade was stunned. Was this the same woman he had betrayed his wife for? He swallowed his anger and went to the kitchen. But as time passed, his patience began to wear thin. At first, Ade ignored the subtle signs that Agnes was cheating on him. She spent long hours outside, coming home late with flimsy excuses. She started dressing more provocatively, wearing expensive clothes that Ade hadn't bought for her. One day, a business associate pulled him aside. Ade, I need to tell you something, he said hesitantly. Ade frowned. What is it? The man glanced around before speaking. Please don't be offended, but as my friend, I think I should tell you this. You are not just a business partner to me, but you are also a friend. So therefore, it will be so bad if I see something going wrong in your life and I keep mute. Your woman, she was seen coming out of a hotel with another man. Ade's heart stopped. He forced a chuckle. That's impossible. Agnes wouldn't do that. The man sighed. Believe what you want, but be careful. People are talking. Ade could not believe this. When he got home, Ade confronted Agnes that night. Where were you today? He asked, watching her reaction closely. She acted a blow. At the market, of course. Why? I heard otherwise, Ade pressed. Someone saw you at a hotel. Agnes coughed. Oh, so now you believe rumors? Maybe you should have stayed with your precious Doris if you wanted a perfect wife. Agnes said and zoomed off. That comment cut deep. Ade wanted to believe her, but deep down, doubts had started to creep in. As time goes on, Ade's business began to decline. The stress of managing his relationship with Agnes and raising a child while dealing with financial struggles weighed heavily on him. One day, he realized he could no longer afford their luxury apartments. He decided to talk with his wife, Agnes. Agnes, we have to move, he told her. I can't pay the rent anymore. Agnes stared at him in disgust. Move to where? A smaller apartment, of course. We need to cut costs. We must cut our coats according to our size. Agnes folded her arms. I didn't leave being a maid to go live in poverty, Ade. That's your problem, not mine. Ade sighed in frustration. Don't you see? I did everything for you, and now we have to survive together. She smirked. I never asked you to ruin your marriage for me. That was your choice, not mine. Those words stung. Ade was so hot. He couldn't believe Agnes treats him this way. He was no longer the happy man he used to be. Days turned to months. Ade was not able to afford the rent anymore. So the landlord of the house came with some group of men and evicted Ade. His properties was thrown into the streets. It was a thing of shame to him. It was a very difficult situation, but at this time, even Agnes could see that she has no choice anymore. The days of her luxury mansion lifestyle is over. Eventually, they moved to a modest 2-bedroom apartment. The luxury was gone, and so was the love. Agnes barely spoke to Ade. She was always out, always on the phone, always making excuses. And then, one fateful day, the truth finally surfaced. Ade was outside washing his son's clothes when a stranger approached him. Excuse me, the man said. Ade looked up, irritated. Yes, who are you? My name is Joshua, the man said calmly. I need to speak with Agnes. Ade wiped his hands. Agnes isn't home. What do you want? And who are you? Joshua hesitated, then said, I came to see my son. Ade blinked. Your what? Is your son missing? How is that my business, even if your son is missing? Does here look like a police station where you go and look for missing kids? I mean my son, the boy Agnes has been raising as yours. I'm his real father. Ade felt his blood run cold. That's a lie. I'm the father. The boy looks like me. Joshua sighed. No, you are not. I was with Agnes before you. She told me she was pregnant, but when I told her I wasn't ready, she cut me off. I only just found out she pinned the child on you. Ade's vision blurred with rage. He grabbed Joshua by the collar. Do you know the implication of what you are saying? Yes, I know what I'm saying. If you doubt me, let's settle this with a DNA test, Joshua suggested. Ade was shaking with fury, but deep down, he needed to know the truth. When Agnes returned home, Ade confronted her Tell me the truth, he demanded. Who is Joshua? Is Joshua the father? Agnes coughed. Don't be ridiculous, Ade. I don't know what you're talking about. Then let's do a DNA test. Agnes's face paled. I won't do it. Are you doubting my faithfulness? At first, Ade believed Agnes, but Joshua kept on pressuring. They must do a DNA test. He wants his son back. After intense pressure, Agnes finally agreed to the DNA test. A week later, the results came back. Then, the unimaginable happened. Joshua was not the father of the child. Ade was not the father of the child. The both men were confused. If I'm not the father of the child, and Joshua is not the father of the child, then who is? Ade asked Agnes. Agnes refused to speak, but after more pressure, she finally broke down. It's the gatekeeper, the gate man, she whispered. The room fell into dead silence. Ade's face turned red with fury. The gate man? Agnes sobbed. I was lonely before you, before Joshua. It just happened. Ade felt like the air had been sucked from his lungs. You made me betray my wife. You made me believe I was a father. And all this time, it was the gate man's child. Agnes sobbed harder. I never meant to hurt you, Ade. But Ade had heard enough. Get out of my house, he said coldly. Ade packed everything that belonged to Agnes and pushed her out of his house. Agnes left with her child. For the first time in years, Ade was truly alone. And in that loneliness, only one thought filled his mind. Doris. Ade hesitated before dialing the number. After several rings, Doris picked up. Hello. Ade's heart pounded. Babe, can we talk? Then Doris laughed. A cold, distant laugh. Babe? Oh, now I'm babe. What about your wife? Ade swallowed hard. Doris, I made a mistake. I need to see you, please. You need to see me? Ade, where was the energy when you betrayed me? Doris, I swear I didn't know. The child wasn't mine. Agnes was sleeping with the gate man. Doris was silent for a moment. Then she sighed. Ade, we all make mistakes. I was too busy for you, and you were weak. But the way you treated me, the way you humiliated me, it was so bad. Ade felt tears sting his eyes. Doris, I need you back, please. I'm sorry, Ade, she said softly. It's too late. Ade's heart shattered. What do you mean? I'm engaged. I found a man who values me. We are getting married. We moved to Dubai months ago. Ade felt like he had been stabbed. Doris, please. I love you. You love me? She corrected. But you didn't respect me. And now I've moved on. With that, she ended the call. Ade dropped the phone, staring blankly at the wall. This was his karma. He had lost everything. And this time, there was no second chance.